Thanks for joining us for Understanding Real Estate with Realtor Becky Cobb of West Cobb Alliance, part of the ReeceNichols Real Estate Group in Neosho.
Good morning, this is Becky Cobb. Hi, Chase. Chase Kraft is here, still talking insurance with us, and today we're going to hit it up. Roofs. Roofs are the biggie, Chase. And this may be a 2 or even a 3-parter. Chase, what do you want to tell us about roofs and insurance?
Yeah, good morning, Becky. So, do you remember the good old days where a 30-year shingle really lasted 30 years?
I heard that time did exist.
Yep. And though, shingles are still marketed as 30 years, I've even seen 40-year shingles. The insurance companies, depending on the company, we can typically squeeze 8, 10, maybe even 15 years for replacement cost on a roof. And then after that, we may either have lesser coverage on that roof, or the insurance company may exclude it entirely, all while also increasing the premium just because the roof age is getting older and older.
So they exclude the roof, but increase the premium?
That's pretty much the world we're in right now. It's a crazy time, I tell you what.
Well, stay tuned. I think we're going to talk a little bit more about your roof. Talking about roofs, part 2. Chase is going to explain to us today replacement cost versus actual cash value. Take it away, Chase.
Good morning, Becky. So, as we talked about in the previous episode, the older a roof gets, the insurance company typically will change the type of coverage that we have on that roof. So, depending on the insurance company, the length could be 8 years to 15 years, occasionally a little bit longer. But replacement cost, which is what we typically want to see on all of our coverages, that is the amount it takes to replace a roof or replace whatever it is. So if it costs $10,000 to replace your roof, that's how much they would pay minus the deductible that you may have had. Once a roof becomes either older, or if you just have a specific policy that has actual cash value, that means that the insurance company is going to pay replacement cost minus depreciation. So they're going to depreciate the roof, where whenever there is a claim, they're going to pay the replacement cost minus that depreciation and then minus the deductible.
So you may not end up getting the whole roof covered if that's the type of policy that you have.
Correct.
Okay, and more people have that type of policy.
Yep. And the older the roof, the less they pay. Yep.
So another good reason to get that checked up periodically to know exactly where you stand. We're still talking about your roof and how do you keep it protected. And one of the things Chase was telling me is there are other types of policies that may give you some additional protection. So Chase is going to explain to us a little bit about a wind and hail policy for your roof.
Yeah, good morning, Becky. So one of the things that we are seeing in the insurance industry right now is deductibles, especially the wind and hail deductible on your house, is increasing, getting more and more expensive. And then we're also seeing the coverage for roofs to get smaller and smaller. So how we can mitigate that is a wind and hail policy that's really designed to cover if you have a qualifying windstorm or a hailstorm that will pay for any damage that you have on your roof. These are real cheap, typically cheap policies, and real easy to get. Most of them don't even have any roof requirements, so we can put old roofs on it, and it's real beneficial for people who are trying to supplement coverage with their home insurance.
Okay. Perfect. So that may be something you want to investigate a little bit further with your insurance agent. So
yes,
ask them about a wind and hail policy. Chase has something that's really important for you to listen to, and that is something called percentage deductibles. And you do not want to be caught not knowing what your percentage deductible means to you and your home.
Yeah, good morning, Becky. So we've been seeing in the insurance industry the past several years where insurance companies are making a minimum deductible, and sometimes those minimum deductibles are for wind and hail, but it might be a percentage. So it might be 0.5%, 1%, or even a 2% deductible. We oftentimes see that people think that is like 1% of the damage, but that percentage is actually 1% of what your house is insured for, the coverage A amount. So if you have a $500,000 house, 1% deductible would be a $5,000 deductible. So we just need to make sure that we are aware of that so we're not caught off guard if and when we ever do turn in a claim.
Thank you very much, Chase.
Thank you.
Good morning. This is Becky Cobb with Chase Kraft of Kraft Insurance, and we've been having a lot of fun talking about insurance, and so I hope you've been sticking with us. One of the things we're going to talk about today is replacement cost. Is your insurance policy keeping up with the current value of your home? I can tell you, if you've been in your home for 20 or more years, pretty good chance your house is worth a lot more than what it was when you bought it. So Chase, how are we going to fix this?
Yeah, good morning, Becky. So we got to remember that market value and replacement cost, though they go hand in hand, they're not exactly the same thing. However, as your house becomes more and more valuable, it most likely will cost more to replace it if you have a total loss. So that's why it's just very important every year to review your insurance policy, reevaluate how much your house would cost if you had to rebuild it, what the estimated market value is.
You just need to keep up with that, folks, because like I was telling Chase, I remember visiting with a couple a few years ago. Their house, they bought it for $40,000. They had it insured for $60,000. I'm saying, hey, you probably can get $115,000 for this. So the numbers weren't really lining up, and if they had to rebuild the house, I don't think they could have rebuilt it for $60,000. So make sure you're insured for enough to replace your house.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, guys.
If you would like to know more about understanding real estate, you may contact Becky Cobb at 417-592-3245 of the West Cobb Alliance, your realtors for life. Find out more on the web at neosho.homes.